All right, lovely people. So today I just wanted to pull some things out of the garage that I've been accumulating over the last few months so that I could use these tools in the preparation or the construction, the creation of all the things that we need to do at the lovely place. And my goal is to, as I use these, get you some nice information about each one of them so that you can learn more about them and determine if it might be something that would be beneficial for you to pick up if you're going to do projects sort of like what we're doing to develop a homestead. Down here I've got the titanium MIG 140 welder. It's a MIG and flux cord welder. It doesn't do stick. I think I've determined that a lot of the things that I'm going to do will be flux, and then I will work my way up to MIG as I need to. Over here, and I've already, last evening I was starting to put it together, but we've got the Ridgid universal miter saw table, and I'm hoping that I am going to utilize that along with this welding table that I picked up from Harbor Freight right over there, and we'll put that one together here in just a second. Use those two in conjunction with my new Milwaukee battery operated table saw. My plan is to use the welding table, when I'm not using it for welding of course, use it and mount the table saw on it, lay this miter saw table out beyond it so that when I'm pushing wood through it, it'll have something to lay and balance itself on as it comes off the other side of the table saw. And that thing folds up and is kind of mobile, as this is as well. So the only downside of that is if I've got a miter saw on this, I'll have to pop it off, but it's no big deal. There's a couple of clamps. So I'll show you how all this works, and we'll probably do this in real time for you, but overtime for me. So let's check out maybe putting together the welding table. Let's do that right now. So I've heard some pretty good things about this welding table. As far as the price is concerned, it's a good buy. There are better things out there, but I have never welded before in my life. I've never even turned one on. So we are going to start as inexpensive as we can when it comes to a table. I bought a pretty decent welder, that MIG 140, based on, you know, videos that I've seen, what its capability is and what I need to do. I think we're going to be okay with that one for a while, but we can always go up if necessary. I think it's important to have all these items if you're going to have a homestead. There are projects and there are repairs that have to be done. Well, there it is, the Chicago electric welding table sold at Harbor Freight. It breaks down by releasing each side of this. This is a little finicky on each side. It seems like it's hard to tighten in the perfect level position. And raise that up, drop it down. She's portable. Well, this is what I had left over as far as hardware is concerned. So I'm not sure if I missed something or if they just gave me a little extra, but I believe I followed the instructions all the way down to the last steps. And you have inspections, maintenance, and cleaning. All right, it's a new day, and I've got the welding table out here. Just want to give you another look at it, just make sure that you got a good look. And what I was talking about earlier in the video is the Ridgid miter saw table. I love it. So I had just put it together, and I wasn't even fully done putting it together at the beginning of this video, but now this thing is completed and I've learned a lot about it. Let me show that to you, and how the resolution I've came up with to make my table saw work with the Ridgid miter saw table. All right, here it is. This is the Ridgid miter saw table, and it's a pretty amazing piece of equipment. I'll show you how we fold it and unfold it. So there's a little lever right here that you just press with your foot. You just raise this up and it just locks right in, and it sets up like a wheel dolly. And to open it, you just put your foot there again and let it slowly slide out. Simple as that. Now, it's got a lot of cool features that I wasn't aware of when I bought it. Number one, what I like is this pops over and this will slide out, and it slides out a long distance. Same thing for the other side. The lever's on the opposite end, opposite side, and it slides out. It's amazing. So you mount your miter saw here, and I'll show you that in a minute, and then those can slide out so that you can be sure to hold up the wood as you're sawing it, as you're cutting it. That locks it back in. On each end, you have this little knob where you can raise and tighten it down or lower it to the position that you want it at. And this is a stop that you can just open that knob, raise this stop up so that you can put it at the spot you want it, if you want it up at all, so that the wood can come in and it won't go any further than that if you're cutting pieces that you want to make the same exact length, same cut. And so we have that on both ends. For me, this miter saw table is probably one of the most versatile pieces of equipment as far as a structure, a table of some kind that I could possibly have. And here's a couple of the reasons why. So check this out. This is my regular 15 amp corded Ryobi miter saw, and you'll see on the bottom here these universal mounting brackets that the hardware, this came with the table, 2 of these, 1 for each end of this. I've already mounted it to the miter saw, and you can see that the bolt goes in right up through here, and then it was the nuts and the bolt and the lock washers were provided for the tops. So all you do to get this on to the table is set the front end first, and you just pop it down like that. Of course, it can go either way. Bring it around this way, pop it on, and then you have the ability to press this down to lock it in place. And now it's very sturdy, it's not going to go anywhere. There's an adjustment screw on these universal mounts that allows you to adjust it just right so it will easily slide side to side. What you can do with this table is you can move your miter saw from location to location, mount it on there just like that. So for me, since we do a lot of work here and at the lovely place, this is great. I can just throw this in the bed of the truck and go to town with it. I can lay this part up on the tailgate, get around on the other side, lift it up, and just slide it up in the truck if necessary, or on a trailer. Just roll it up on a trailer. There we go. Easy as that. Something that occurred to me was, you know, I have this new vise that you saw earlier. I'll show it to you again in a minute. It was, I think, Doyle, and it was from Harbor Freight as well. And I believe it's a 5-inch vise, but I don't have, I need to use it down at the lovely place, and I'll be using it here as well. And I need it to be mobile too. So look what I did. For about 30 bucks, I went online, I went to Home Depot, and I ordered 2 more of these universal brackets. I mounted it on my Doyle vise with the hardware that was provided, and check it out. I now have a vise table. I can adjust these up and down so it will hold any material that I might have going across at any given time. And this is pretty sturdy. It says that it holds up to 300 pounds. And there's an anvil on the back where I may be hammering and beating on it a little bit, but I love this idea. Yeah, there's the brackets. There's the hardware where I mounted it onto these brackets. This side of this particular vise, it only has 1 bolt. Some of them have another one so that there's 4, but that doesn't seem to pose any kind of a problem. But that's pretty cool, if you ask me. You know, anytime you can take one tool and make it multi-use purpose, you've got something good here. And so, yeah, I can lay this particular vise, by the way, has a really nice pipe vise built into it, and then of course the clamping vise here at the top and the anvil area. But this was probably a mid-range, upper to mid-range vise for Harbor Freight. It wasn't their cheapest by far, but it was not outrageous, and I believe it will be one that will last me for years to come. It has the ability to unlock these different little clamps here, so I can take the whole vise, and it's got teeth that connect. It just kind of raises up and it moves to different positions, so you can adjust that and the position that it's in if you need to. I can also loosen these and slide this from one side to the other. I thought, however, that this would probably be a good spot for weight distribution, since the heavy part of the base is very much on this, and whatever material I have in here is going to be on here. I thought that would give me a pretty good equal distribution of weight. I like how this has the rubber grommets. Now it is hitting down here on this, but before it was connected to this miter saw table, that wasn't the case, of course, and it would just drop and it would be a nice soft gentle thud. But I think this is a home run. Tell me what you think in the comments below. I'm curious, has anyone else ever done this, or is this a bad idea? I'll take it easy with it when I'm working with this thing, and hopefully I won't do anything that will cause any damage. This thing does not tip easy. It seems to be very sturdy. It's got these large wheels, so you can definitely go through some terrain with it. I do like that. And yeah, now that it's locked, we can do the same thing with this vise on here. It's heavy, but look at that. We can just walk around with it. How cool is that? Now, I got something even cooler to show you. Okay, do you guys remember these C700 Tough Built sawhorses? I had a video on that recently that goes over these sawhorses in detail. The legs are fully adjustable, so That being the case, you can make it much lower than you would normally use it for standard workbench or a standard sawhorse, which helps it become a perfect table saw stand. Check this out. All right. Check this out. We have the ability to now saw with this brand new Milwaukee Fuel 1-key M18 table saw, and as we slide the wood out and across, we can adjust this so that it's perfectly level with this top. I can build this up if I need to, but we can drop these down and have them be right exactly where they need to be, in line for this table saw to rip wood and bring it all the way out on there. So again, what we have here with this Ridgid miter saw table, folding table, is a very unique and a versatile tool that I'm going to use in many ways. But yeah, this one excited me because the table that comes, or that you can purchase for the Milwaukee saw, is, I've not seen very great reviews on it, and it seems a little flimsy and hard to deal with. I'm considering doing something down here that's kind of unique. In fact, let's size this and see if it will even work. So no, I would not use this new awesome M18 Milwaukee pack out radio with Bluetooth capability, but what I can do is I can get a section of this pack out. I can put it, mount it to a piece of plywood, and then I can put pack out feet on the bottom of the table saw, and then I can slide it on a pack out assembly. So it looks like it is a little bit wider. Whoops. It's a little bit wider than the table saw itself. As you can see, the table saw sticks out just a little bit on each side, but there is plenty of room underneath here for me to mount a piece of plywood on this frame, and underneath that plywood put the feet that lock into this pack out. And I could, and of course I wouldn't use this radio, so it wouldn't be this tall or anything like that. It would just simply be this flat. It would be just this section here mounted on a, say, 1/4 inch piece of plywood, and I could permanently mount that, or not permanently, but I could mount that anytime I needed to these sawhorses. You may remember that under here there are 2 holes for it. So I'm not 100% I'm going to do that, but that would be a really great way to secure it to this, maybe with a couple of wing nuts, and then slide in the table saw, lock it into the pack out, and we'd be in business. But I thought you'd appreciate the solution I found for the table saw, and I believe it's better than the welding table. Was my first inclination, but it's tall. It's too tall. These can be adjusted. This is its lowest setting, and it allows the legs to come all the way up so that this can be down underneath the height of the miter saw table. And now we've got 3 really great uses for this table. So I want to thank you for coming today, hanging out with me. And no, we're not at the lovely place, but we'll be there soon, and we'll be using all these tools, and we'll be making some really cool stuff. So look forward to seeing you there soon. Have a great one. Thanks.